and I also want to open one more instance of this so that I can compare the same product, correct?
Mm-hmm.
If I click the same thing in both the instances, is there any change or not? So I click here, it was red and green. I click here, red and green, flashing red and green. Okay, so then the last, flashing red, no change, flashing red, no change, correct. Center red, black, center red, black. Now this is like a basic fundamental test. So I also need to make notes where I need to say what are the conditions that I have tried out, correct? So this is like puzzle 13, and so let me name the buttons, right? 6 buttons. I'll say A. A is the first column, so it's like A1, B1, A2, B2, A3, B3. Okay, default state. So I can say default state or the colors are like the A's are in white, and then B's are in. I do have the tool which will say 40 40 40 or RGB 64 64 64. So B's are in RGB 64 64 64, right? Similarly, I could check what is the white color. It is loading, 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 loading. Two 47, 247, 247. Okay, so now what are the possibilities? Say if I go here, this is something like your uh, test design or test data preparation, right? So, or the combinations preparation.
Scenarios.
Huh. So what else matters here? The order matters. So let's go here. I'll say A, and then here A1, A2, and A3, and here B, B1, B2, B3, and first time I'll just put in a column here. Can I insert a column? No. Can I move a column? No. How do I move a column?
Plus sign maybe.
I want to move a column. So let me put here as first time. What I want to do is this the first time that I want to click on ABC?
Mm.
First time either I could click on an A1, or I could click on an A2, I can click on A3, or I can click on B1, or I can click on B2, or I can directly click on B3, correct? And so that is like my first click, and then let me try it out. A1, just thinking what all combinations are possible. A3, then I can say B1, B2, B3, and for now I'll just generate a pairwise and open that. Meanwhile, refresh it. Okay, so it says first you click on an, not able to see, right? First you click on an A1, then again click on A1 and then click on B1.
Hmm.
Right. So for now this is refreshed, and this, let me reduce a bit. Oops. This is what happens when you don't have multiple monitors. Oh, meanwhile our first browser doesn't seem to have any visible changes.
Yeah.
So going back here, dragging the file to a place where I can see it and also execute. Okay, so we go here, again a refresh. So we click on A1, again click on A1 and click on B1. So you saw the result. Then A1. Now this is not a base state of the application. It already has completed the A1, A1, B1 scenario.
A1. Yeah.
Correct? So
Yeah. Refresh.
that is one option. The other option is to continue on that itself.
Yeah.
So you go A1
Hmm.
and then A2 and then B2. Okay, then A1, A3 and then B3. Okay, so for many right now things might not be clear. It might look like, hey, playing around with buttons and different colors, but
Hmm.
to learn it well you have to cross this confusion state.
Hmm.
Till that pattern appears you have to cross this confusion state to an extent, and then the patterns will emerge. But if you don't, if you fix on a pattern early enough, then you might miss out on a lot of things, like, hey, just that first button changes color, that you have fixed out on a pattern very early in the cycle without exploration. You shouldn't fix, but at the same time you should not delay too much also. And then when do you fix it is, you will know when you keep doing it, and when you're observing all of that, when you're configuring, you're observing and you're evaluating, and then you click, array, looks like I'm going in circles, right? And then you trace back your steps.
Hmm.
So let's see quickly when the colors change and what happens. A1, as soon as we click on the first, what happened? Flicker red, green permanent. Okay,
Hmm.
flicker red, just the center green. Okay, very good. So this one seems to enable all three as green, this one just the center, this one none of it.
Nothing.
But what is it that is important here is the order. We tried 1, 2, 3. Now let's try 3, 2, 1 and see if it changes any impact, right? First, okay, we directly click here, no change.
Hmm.
Okay, and this one should enable all, hopefully. Let's see, maybe not. So that means maybe it puts the inverse condition here. So let's confirm once more, coming from top but not refreshing after the first action. Okay, correct. Now this should, what it should do, it should inverse this and keep these two. Let's see, correct. And this one should not do any change. Oops,
You didn't refresh.
correct, I did not refresh. So that's what I'm trying to say. So what are the parameters that play here? Order matters, the refresh matters. Refresh meaning the sequence or from base state, correct?
Base state. Yeah.
Order doesn't seem to matter. So let's try once more. Now what should happen if I click this? Just this should, nothing should happen ideally. Or no, just this should become
No,
red.
it should turn green. Till one. Yeah.
Okay. Now if I click this,
Nothing should happen. Turn green. Oh, there was no refresh.
correct. Now
Should it inverses all the three.
correct.
Three.
So there is a maybe a inverse rule, okay, to be confirmed, which is independent of others. So let's see. I'm refreshing but it's not going. Okay. So first is A1, right? A1 inverse is
All the circles in B.
A2 inverse is
Mid B. B2.
A3 inverse is
Nothing.
okay. So this is our hypothesis. Now let's go and test it. Okay. A1 is all. A1 is all. Now can we get both green and then try out? And to get that, so now this is test data setup, this is configuration, and we are not actually testing these two. Okay, the intention is to get these two green and then go click on this and see if they go black. We got one, and now we'll go check here. So this and this should become green, correct?
Yeah.
And this should go to black, which seems to work. But we tried with A2. Now let's try with A3 and then again go with A1. Okay. So A3 is no change is our understanding or hypothesis. So A3 is actually not no change. A3 is maybe, it's again maybe, inverse B3, rest all green. Maybe make rest all green. Could that be the A3's effect? Okay, this is our second hypothesis for A3. Now A1 we know it's an inverse. Now test data is set up. Now let's try and see if it actually inverses everything. Cool, it did. Correct. Now the interesting part, what if we do it again? Will these two become green and this become black? Yes. Once more.
Yeah.
Okay, once more. Once more. Can we click on any of these? I have clicked, by the way, on all three and then try. Again clicked and then try. Okay.
No, those three are not clickable.
So that's where, right? That's where I'm trying to say. It appears to be non-clickable.
Okay.
But you could still go click on it. Maybe there could be a bug that the mouse pointer is not showing
Yeah.
as a link select.
Yeah.
So again, as I told, as testers, know that things can be different. Right? So that way. Okay. So now A1 we know it's mostly like an inverse all. Okay. Now A2 is inverse just the B2.
B2.
So this should remain as is. Very good. Now how do we enable this? By doing a A3. Correct. And now we do A1. Only this should become green. Now how do I get just this one as green and then do A1? So this is by this and by this. Okay. So A1 seems to follow this rule. So A1 at least is kind of confirmed.
Hmm.
right? So this is almost confirmed. Okay, now let's
Hmm.
try A2 is really a B2 reverse or not. A2 is B2 reverse. So if it is green, correct. Now let's get everyone to black and then try B2. Everyone to black and then try B2. It's loading. It took the click that I did. Once more, once more, once more, once more. Okay, so A2 seems to inverse B2. Okay,
Hmm.
and inverse only B2, right?
Hmm.
Now A3 is inverse B3 and rest all green. Let's try. No change if all B are black. Now how do we get one of them to green? By now we try A3. So this we are expecting inverse B3 and keep everyone as green. Oh, what happened? You see the difference?
There's no change.
Okay,
No
so
change.
that
Yeah.
seems to violate our understanding. So A3 needs a little more investigation.
Hmm.
So what all are the conditions on which A3 can be applied? All green B,
Hmm.
B1 green,
Hmm.
B2 green, B3 green, B1 B2 green, B1 B3 green, and B2 B3 green, and all B black. Now these are our new test cases or scenarios that we need to execute to check for A3. Okay, so now all green is B, and what happens to A3? So let's refresh and get to a state. All green is easy. We do like this. Now we check A3. No change. So now again we refresh, because now we want just the B1 as green. Just to get B1 as green, how do we do?
That will turn B2 green. And that will not make any change.
We have to make this and then disable this and disable this and again disable this. Now just B1 is green, and now we try A3. Okay,
Hmm.
wow, made B2 green. Either this or it did an undo. Correct?
Yeah.
So we don't know. Now B2 is green. Now what happens when we do A3? Made.
No, we did without refresh.
That's okay. Or else how else would you get B2 as a green? By
Yeah.
you're saying okay, let's try now. So what we got, B3 green is what we got, right? Without refresh. Without refresh, Now to get this, just this green, we do this, and then we do this. What are we expecting? We expect B3 to go green, correct? Okay, so with or without refresh doesn't seem to matter, right? Now that B3 is green, we do A3. How come it got just the first one as?
Yeah, we didn't do a refresh.
Okay, so now what I want to highlight is